Hi, and welcome to my channel. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. It's free and it will ensure you won't miss any future videos. Hi, and welcome to part 4 of my series on how to skin mount a largemouth bass, where today we're going to paint this guy up, get it all ready to hang on your wall. And as an added bonus, I've decided to give this fish away when it's completed. Please watch the video till the end for details. So I start out with white on the belly. Blend it up the sides. Now I'm using acrylics, but lacquers work equally well. Personal preference. Now I go over the back of my fish with a dark color. Almost any dark color would work. You can base that upon your reference photo you're trying to copy. This here is a mixture of 5 parts sailfish blue to 4 parts rich brown. It's just a nice charcoal color I use on a lot of my replicas. I blend this down the body. A lot of these scales that have slightly lifted just to blend the colors. So you have a nice base to start from. Nice even skin tone. Now we're ready to start adding some color. The next step, I'm going to use Candy Bright Yellow. Now if you've seen my other painting videos on replicas, this process isn't a whole lot different. You just omit the antiquing process. There might be some subtle variations as I go, but now we'll put a little color into it. Do the fins in the whole upper half of the fish. Blending into the belly softly. Now the candy colors will bleed through, so after I apply them, I usually use a little clear lacquer just to seal it in. Now I come back with a little white, touch up the overspray. And that looks pretty good. So now I switch to my detail airbrush. This is a Badger Velocity. Been a real workhorse for me. I've had it for 20 plus years, I would think. Long time anyhow. But there's so many airbrushes on the market and probably all work equally well, so it's pretty much just personal preference. One thing I do want to stress is having good reference when you're painting a fish, especially if you're doing it for the first time or haven't done many. I have some big enlargements that I've made that help me tremendously. So now I start my detail. I'm just using black umber, and I just start my bar patterns. I just work up my way up the fish. Again, using your references, your reference pictures, so you know what the fish you're trying to recreate looks like. For the lower portion of the fish, I tilt the fish at an angle, so my airbrush is at an extreme angle, and I just give a little squirt to each of the scales I want to highlight. You may have to thin down your paints a little bit to get this to work. And hopefully this is showing up on my video. Purposely making some of these darker than others. And as you get down lower in the belly, you just want it to be very, very faint. At this point, this fish could almost be called done, but I prefer to go over it with a couple other detail colors, yellow ochre and sienna, according to your reference. Again, we do the teeth. A little bit down there. A little bit there. And some around the eye. Okay, now I follow up with my sienna on just about the same areas that I used my yellow ochre on. Sometimes a little bit on the base of the fins. The teeth. Now I'm going to paint the gills. First thing I do is stuff some paper towel into the mouth to avoid overspray in the mouth where it's already painted. So now a bright red, we mask it off and give the gills a nice coat of red. Take the packing out of the mouth. Looks pretty good. I'll come back with a little white touch up where there's a little red overspray. One last thing I like to do before the final gloss is scale tip along the back to lighten it up somewhat and give it a 3D look. This is completely optional, but I use Pearl X powders on a small little brush and just quickly tip the tip of each scale along the back side. Now the scale tipping is done. Gives it a nice look. The next thing I do is hit it with a coat of clear lacquer to seal the powders in before I give it the final gloss. Now we're going to apply our final gloss coat. Today I'm going to use a two-part automotive gloss, although you could get pretty good results with an aerosol spray lacquer, a gloss lacquer, any one of a number of things. But I prefer the automotive gloss because it gives you the most shine. And we give it one quick flash coat, wait about 10 minutes, and then give it a heavier coat. And there it is with the gloss. And one thing I'd like to point out, if you do use the two-part automotive type gloss like I just used, make sure you do in a well-ventilated area and use a respirator or proper safety equipment, because that stuff is very strong. So here's our completed fish. I installed a hanger on the back so it's all ready to hang on your wall. So for my giveaway, in an attempt to grow my YouTube channel, I've decided to give away this fish to a lucky viewer. If you'd like a chance at winning this finished fish, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Then just leave me a comment. When I reach 50 comments, I will randomly draw a winner from these comments and make arrangements to ship you this fish. Within the US only, please. Thanks for watching and playing along.